After some drama last week in the Fuel Cup Series at Indianapolis, some interesting things that got played out for the rest of the Fuel Finals, and it's still going to be interesting here as you see the session tick over. We're about to be gridding here a little bit late into this session, but still here on time. My name is Finney Nakuna. I'm here with Zach Passon. We're here for the Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series, the second round of the Fuel Finals, and as I was saying, some interesting stuff happened, not just in the elimination style. Interesting that we've normally seen, but as Casey Lakatos and Brian Chambliss will be the drivers going home after last week, leaving 10 for this week. But already a driver has been eliminated going to this week, with Greg Evans being removed from or suspended for the rest of the season after some post-race altercations. So he will be automatically eliminated from the race this week. So it's going to leave one driver available, but that's going to be really big for Evans, potentially going to get another championship, and he's already out of it.
Yeah, that's definitely going to, if you're out for the rest of the season, it's definitely going to hurt your chances. So interested to see if Greg Evans rebounds, comes back next year.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. He is invited back to join with the Fuel Cup Series for the next season. So we'll wait and see on a word for that. But, yeah, big penalty for him, so that's essentially going to leave, as I was saying, we've been eliminating two drivers every week. Last week eliminated Casey Lakatos and Brian Chambliss. So with Greg Evans out, that leaves 9 drivers left in the running. And Colin Fambrough is currently sitting on that elimination spot. I'll actually pull up your points here. If I can find it in a second. Here we go. There are your points on the right side of the screen. And that cut line there for 8th place. Again, Greg Evans out of it. So at least Colin Fambrough 15 points behind in Pastorius, so it's going to be a little bit of a tall order for him to get back up there, but he's currently, I see him starting towards the front, and indeed, let's go through your starting lineup. So currently in first will be Anthony Debaro, no surprise there. 27 has been one of the fastest cars all season. Outside of him, the 89 of Jeff Ward will be starting in second.
Timothy Johnston starts in third inside of the second row. Colin Fambrough starting fourth outside of the second row.
And then moving on back to 5th place is the 24 of Thomas Bressi. After some decent runs, he's still looking for that elusive win for this season. We'll see if he can collect it here tonight. Outside of him, Robert Hall in the 30 from Georgia will be starting in 6th.
Riley Thompson starts in the 7th position. Tyler Henze in the 44 car starts 8th. Those two guys, definitely keep an eye on both of them. Thompson's been impressive as of late.
Indeed he has. He's been on an incredible run, especially in the IndyCar Series. Got his first win last week. Derek Paulson will be starting in the 60 in 9th place, and outside of him, Shane Ewing in 10th. And Ewing was on the cut line and in danger of getting taken out last week. But so far he's been going to be starting a lot further up the field this week.
Castor starts 11th, Derek Castor, and behind him, Hayden Pastorius, teammate to Riley Thompson. Flashback a couple weeks to USA. They didn't really work together that well as teammates. Let's see if they fix that tonight, where it's going to be more focus on the drafting.
We'll let the rest of that scroll across the bottom here. The rest of your starting lineup. We're getting ready here for 134 laps. So decent length race, not too long, not too short. But again, it's going to be a matter of who's going to be in the front here at the end. Noticing some familiar names up in the front here and some unfamiliar names that could potentially get their first victory of the season here as the pace car is getting ready to roll off here. 134 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway as we're getting ready for the green. And there we go. Green flag in the air here at Charlotte.
Debaro gets a great start. Johnston's following behind him very, very close. Everybody's starting to kind of single file out. That's surprising down into turn 1.
Yeah, as these guys struggle to get up to speed, again, with the tapered spacers and all that jazz with the new package, it's a lot harder for them to get up to speed. But yeah, you're saying immediately single file. And here comes Robert Hall in the background. He's going to be side by side with Colin Fambrough back here for 6th.
Yeah, Robert Hall's been impressive all season. It's a shame he can't race for a championship. I think, he would be a really, really strong contender.
Indeed, would really be a strong contender. There you see up and behind through the AstroTurf, Hensley was trying to make a move, getting a lane on Shane Ewing. Couldn't get it done, so he's going to have to stay in behind. But yeah, the field really spread out at the moment.
Yeah, we got a couple of good battles. Derek Castor and Hayden Pastorius still going back and forth at it, but it looks like that's about getting single filed out too.
Yeah, Hall still looking to the inside of Fambrough for 6th place, and now he's under attack from Derek Paulson. Out of the 60 of Paulson, that's the kind of surprise. Haven't seen him have a lot of runs inside the top 10, but here he is tonight up in the front.
Yeah, impressive run for him tonight. This I wonder if the track temperature being as hot as it is really creating this. It's 148 degrees track temperature tonight. That's hot.
Yeah,
that's
that is
extremely hot.
Really hot. Actually, yeah, that is definitely the record temperature. Jesus. Yeah. I thought you said 139, but yeah, no, 149. It's a record temperature at Charlotte. I don't think I've ever seen a track, even in real life, to get this hot.
I don't think so either. I mean, 91 degrees air temp with 148 degrees track temp. That's pretty slick. There's no doubt about that.
Background, some drama going on here. That's the 22 of Brandon Key in the Chevrolet. Interestingly enough, for this race, usually he's in a Toyota. He's gonna fall in behind Alec Martinez, who moves himself up to 14th. And Alec actually, I think, started further down the order. It started in, I believe, 21st, so currently up into 14th, so a great move forward for the 54.
Yeah, it's a little interesting how far back he qualified. Typically, Alex is, one of the better qualifiers up there towards the front, so I'm not really sure why he's back this far in the pack. It'll be interesting to see if he can make his way forward.
Yeah, and here it comes, how about look at the rest of this pack? So for the leader, Debaro, he's checked out 1.3 seconds up the road. It's Riley Thompson in second place. Timothy Johnston, Thomas Bressi, and these guys starting to fall back in on each other. Jeff Warren's dropped back to 5th place after running in second, so something happened to him to put him further down the order.
Yeah, I mean, Debaro's pulled out a good size lead, but everybody else is just really, like you were saying, stacked right there together, but I don't know how much passing we're going to be able to see. Everybody seems to be pretty locked down to the bottom.
I think it's going to be so hot. I don't think we're going to really see a whole lot of passing on the track, and I think that's what we're seeing. You're seeing pretty much a train forming from Riley Thompson all the way back to Martinez. Not a whole lot of guys really making a whole lot of moves.
This package seems to work really, really great in a lower, with a cooler track and cooler air. So I think the hot temperatures is, trying to negate some of the good effects with this package. Make it more race like the old one, but it's, in this case, at least so far, where the track doesn't have much rubber, it's not working that well.
Yeah, I think definitely the hot temp is going to make it a lot more driver focused, to say the least, compared to the newer package. They're going to have to save your tires over the course of the run, because again, it is really, really hot. I didn't realize it was that, and I'll put it up again. Oh, it's gone up to 151. Wow.
Wow. And it's only going to get hotter as these guys continue to race on it, too.
I can officially say you can definitely fry an egg on the surface here. It's that hot.
Yeah, I hope everybody's got their sunscreen and sunglasses today, because you're going to need it.
You're definitely going to need it, especially for the fans, though. Only 91 in the air, but still, just 151 on the track. Didn't even think that was actually possible in the sim, but there you go. That's a record.
Yeah, record-breaking.
And you can definitely see that it is really hot by the way these guys have been racing out. A whole lot of moves. I do see some damage off of the 28's rear bumper. And I'm kind of curious. I think he might have gotten it off the nose of the 24, though Bressi's nose looks to be fine. So I'm not quite sure where he got that damage.
I don't think it's going to affect him too terribly much.
No, it's definitely not. But I'm just curious if whoever hit him in the front, if they got damaged, because that's definitely going to be hurting them.
Oh, it was Bressi.
Oh, it was? Okay. But
that's what caused that big checkup.
Ah, okay. Pieces kind of falling out together. Meanwhile, still, Robert Hill and Colin Fambrough has still not gotten separated from each other. And still going at it side by side. Fambrough on the outside, Hill on the inside.
Yeah, I wonder if as the track takes rubber, if we'll start to see an outside groove form, with some of that momentum.
Honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised, especially once these tires start to wear off. I think the inside line is going to be absolutely treacherous, especially coming off of turn 4. It's going to get really tight, so you might see some guys off for that outside lane, just kind of looking down the order here. Here comes Alec Martinez trying to work on McQuestion in the 93.
Speaking of guys running that outside line, Shane Ewing tried the wall there in 1 and 2.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see, I think, more and more drivers start to experiment as this run goes on. But up in the front, I'm noticing the gap for the lead actually starting to dwindle back down. It's down to 0.7 of a second. So second, third, and fourth, catching Debaro back up. It was at 1.3 seconds, down to 0.6. So they're making some inroads.
Yeah, I think those 3 cars there together is really, they're able to draft And where Debaro's out there all on his own, he doesn't have any help pushing arrow-wise. So I think that's really allowing these guys to catch up.
And looking back here, still a mess of cars in the background. Hayden Pastorius and Hensley going at it. It's where you're starting to see some of that side-by-side. Alec Martinez with a big run off in the corner. You don't think he can really do a whole lot. It looked like he was tempted to make it 3 wide. He is going to make it 3 wide.
Ooh. Yeah, he looked middle, then looked low. I wasn't sure if he was going to stick it through the middle or, run it through the AstroTurf there. Yeah, either way, it would have been very interesting.
Yeah, it would have been really interesting indeed, but is going to still keep it in behind Hensley for now. And we're definitely seeing the passing being really tough to do, especially when you're in behind 2 cars like this. So he's in you see the arrow shadow of the 19. And it's not affecting him a whole lot, but it's going to be even harder to make that pass. See him sliding off of turn 4.
And this just goes to show you how important track position is. We're on lap 14 when these guys are racing this hard already. We have over 100 laps still left.
Martinez able to get by Tyler Hensley. Now going to try to look around Hayden Pastorius. And we'll keep an eye on that. In front of them, Robert Hull's finally got around Colin Fambrough as Fambrough's put up a fantastic fight. And again, he's kind of on the chopping block here as far as points are concerned, but is still running fairly well and beating drivers like Hayden Pastorius, but he's going to have to beat him by a lot more.
Yeah, I think Colin's just trying to hang on right now. It looks like, the car is not quite working as well as he'd want it to. And that's allowing, Robert was finally able to get by him, and as you can see, he just pulled right away.
Back for 10th place, Alec Martinez working to the inside of Hayden Pastorius. These guys are going to be side by side of the corner. I think it's going to be a lot easier for Martinez. He's got some clean air to work with now.
Not boxed in right behind somebody else. And Martinez has been moving through the field. I mean, he's already up to 10th. We spoke about him just a couple laps ago, and he's back in 16th. So, really impressive by Alex.
Yeah, and Riley Thompson, he's begun a slow drop back. He's fallen in behind Timothy Johnston, Bressi. Now Jeff Ward has finally just gotten past him. So now he's going to potentially fall back further, as I think Robert Hall's got a faster car.
Yeah, Hall's been fast all season, and especially on these mile-and-a-half, tracks. He's just found something that really works for him. He's so consistent, lap in, lap out. I think that's really where he'll make his time up. So these conditions are definitely favoring him, where it's more of a driver's, track.
Really starting to see drivers get separated. You see Timothy Johnston almost got a piece of the wall coming off of turn 4. He's really pushing, and again, the gaps dropped down all the way back to around 0.3 of a second. And Bressi, too, with that very patriotic scheme, I imagine, for Veterans Day. He's trying to get that first win here. This is one of his best shots, and I think this is one of his better tracks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure about how good he's been here in previous races. You can't really compare too much with the aero package, but he's been running strong all season.
He has been running, as we've got a caution out on the track, and not entirely sure who it is for. It's Jared Dixon in the 16. As he's sideways off of turn 3. Oh, this started coming out of turn 2. It's a long wreck. Here he is coming off the turn, was trying to keep off Don Runkle, and I think you're just seeing he was chasing the car down the entire straightaway, but it's so hot and there's such little grip. He just went for a spin, lazy spin down the inside, no harm, no foul. And no one else involved.
Yeah, big incident there for Jared in terms of trying to wheel it. Good on him for keeping him out of the wall and out of the rest of the cars. Really impressive.
See him running in right behind Mitchell Walker here, coming off of turn 2. Just going to try to keep it off of Don Runkle. And does a spin all the way down to the inside. So we will be able to continue to go, come back up through the field. We got pit stops underway here. And imagine everyone's going to come down for 4 tires. I don't think you can do really anything else with the heat.
Yeah, I think tires are going to mean a huge amount tonight. Maybe on a late race pit stop, you might see a guy try 2. But I think that's going to be really, really hard to make work.
See, everyone's Jack's going up, no one really trying anything, and Jack's down. It's going to be Anthony Debaro off first, and Timothy Johnston, Thomas Bressi, Jeff Ward, Riley Thompson, Robert Hall, Alec Martinez is going to just squeeze by Paulson and the 5 of Colin Fambrough, so he's going to gain some more spots in pit road.
Yeah, Fambrough missed the box there, slid through the stall just a little bit, had to back up and lost a couple positions due to that.
Yeah, that's also, I think, going to be a big thing, especially it's looking like we're going to potentially see some green flag runs if driver doesn't spin out. The driver is getting pretty spread out over the course of a run, so I think definitely those green flag runs and green flag pit stops are going to be a big factor.
Yeah, if the tires don't wear quite enough, that guys are struggling to keep control on it, and we have green flag pit stops. How do you get down to pit road safely right now? Do you have to enter, in 3, or do you try and risk it and lock the brakes up in 4?
I think it can definitely come down in 4, but it's a matter of, I guess, if you did indeed practice, especially considering how slick the track is, if you did practice getting these cars slowed down, because again, you can't just jump on the brakes and slow down like you normally would on a much cooler track. I'm talking cooler in the sense of 110, 100 degrees.
Yeah.
But here, again, considering especially you're probably going to be coming in some older tires, you're really going to have to start slowing down a lot more than you think and a lot earlier on to prevent yourself from spinning out. But we'll have to see here if we do even get to that point, because Jared Dixon, considering how loose he was coming off of 2 just from a little correction, is telling me these guys are already really on edge.
Yeah, and that was only 19 laps in. We got still over 100 laps left in this one, so I think we're going to see some guys really start struggling with it after about those 20 laps on the tires.
Just to get some time to really look at the points, we'll get a quick update here. Do notice Nick Kohan is not in the field tonight, so not sure what happened to him. I don't believe he got a penalty or anything from last week. It was just Greg Evans, so hopefully he's back for next week. I do see him in the chat, so Nick, if you want to tell me why you weren't able to come here, hopefully everything's all right with you. But I think it should actually still be good for the next round, so it doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, Kohan's been a strong contender all season. Not exactly sure why he's not here, but we hope to have him back. Makes things interesting in this championship.
Yeah, really, and I think it's honestly going to be more of a battle between the 21 and the 27. It's how
I agree.
Started to emerge over the last few weeks. Those guys have been consistently in the front of the field, and even honestly, I would throw that 54 on Martinez. Unfortunately, hasn't had a good qualifying effort tonight. We'll see if he can get back up there.
There's some guys that have had some strong runs throughout the top 10, but it seems those 2 guys there are consistent week in and week out, being the 1-2 guys.
Yeah, and I think that's also the big thing too with this point system, the way they're running this kind of elimination style format that they're running every single week. It's, again, wins don't lock you into the next quote-unquote round. It's just a matter of who's the highest in points. They'll always get eliminated, so it really rewards consistency as far as staying above that cut line as much as you can. Oh, and apparently Nick's on vacation and couldn't bring his laptop, so unfortunately you couldn't make it to the race, but I hope you're enjoying your vacation.
Yeah, hopefully you're somewhere where it's not snowing right now. I know a lot of the Northeast is experiencing that this weekend.
Oh yeah, don't get me started. Well, yeah, I also hope wherever you are that it's not 150 degrees.
Yeah.
The track's dropped a little bit. By a little bit, I mean
2
1
degrees.
degree down to 150. As we're getting ready for the restart here, coming to lap 23 here. We'll see if anyone's learned anything over that little short run. Can they do anything with what they learned? As the pace car comes off here, getting ready for the restart. As Debaro leads them back down. Green flag back in the air here at Charlotte.
Debaro once again gets a great restart. He's able to pull away to a lot of car length over over Thomas Bressi.
And Bressi.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and Bressi also able to take it away from the 28 to Johnston. See these guys single file out yet again.
Yeah, I think that's a smart thing to do for a little while, is just to ride as the tires wear. But I wonder how much it's going to hurt just being in the aero.
But no, Bressi immediately going to the inside of Debaro for the lead there. Debaro cuts him off just as they enter the corner. In behind them, Timothy Johnston and Ward fighting it out really hard for third place.
Yeah, guys are racing really, really hard on the restart because they know track position is going to be huge.
Yep, and he got fresh tires now. Might as well. Oh, Martinez and Timothy Johnston making contact, hard contact for the 28 of Johnson. No caution. We remain green. We might see it here, and there it is. Oh boy.
Wow.
And oh, there's also John Wilco. I think. Oh no, that was McQuistion stuck sideways on the track. I'll have to get a look at this. We kind of saw this happen. Looking at the 28 of Timothy Johnson. And I think Martinez just gets into him here. Yeah, clips him in the left rear, and around he goes.
That's twice tonight. A very similar incidents happened to Johnston.
Now we'll see. I'm curious what happened to McQuistion. This is his view of what happened. This all happened right in front of him. Oh, got into Shane Ewing. And he went around. I don't think he got anyone else involved. But that's, you know, I hate to be Rick Allen, but that's some championship implications right there.
That is some championship implications right there. I think he might have clipped the 44 of Hensley throughout all that.
Take a look at Tyler Hensley, see how his car is doing.
It doesn't look like he got any damage from it, so,
Yeah, so he's
might have not cut it through him.
Yeah, so he got a little really lucky there. Fortunately, can't say the same about Timothy Johnson. He's back in 26, still pacing around, although I imagine he's going to have some sort of required repairs because he took a hard lick to that outside wall.
And some guys are pitting again. Here.
Now, honestly, not too terribly surprised, considering the way the track position is. Sorry, the track conditions are.
Yeah, well, both aren't wrong.
So a lot of guys up in the front. I think, you know, this is not a bad call. If a lot of other drivers come on down into pit road. If you're out there, if you're by yourself from the front down, you're going to lose a ton of track position. But I think it was Alec Martinez that might have led these guys back on down. And actually, no, it was Bressi that led him on down. And race off of pit road is going to be, I think, barely Bressi over Riley Thompson, and then Alec Martinez rounding out your top three off of pit road.
This introduces some new players up to the front of the field as well. Mitchell Walker is going to be starting in 5th, I believe. So, interested to see how that works out. But we got some guys that are a little further back. Robert Hall's got some more track position now. Let's see if those tires can hold on. I'm thinking these guys are hoping it doesn't go green for too terribly long.
Yeah, you mean the guys that stayed out, or just in general?
Yeah, the guys that stayed out.
Well, let's see. I think we went, what, 2 laps?
2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, so I'll honestly be a little bit surprised if that's enough. Just 2 or 3 laps, if that's going to make a huge difference. We'll have to see, though. This is a good time to experiment.
Yeah, with these cars, I've noticed the tire fall off is huge. So even those 2 or 3 laps can make a difference. You know, around the 15 lap mark is really when you'll start to see that pace different if we get to that point. Before there's another yellow.
Here's Timothy Johnson looking at him on pit road. Pace car is actually just going to come around him here. I think he's going to go a lap down. And I think the question is going to be, yeah, he's going to go a lap down. So now it's going to be, does he go 2 laps down? I think for 1 lap down is not the end of the world. 2 laps down, you're really going to have to hope for some stuff to go your way. As we pull up the points yet again. He's not entirely clear. He's only 36 points above that cut line. And if one of these other guys have a better night, such as if Fambrough can improve from this, he'll be moving on. If Fambrough wrecks or something, it should be Timothy Johnson that moves on. So this is not the position I imagine the 28 wanted to be in.
Right now, it looks like he's going to be the only car a lap down as well. So, you know, if we get another quick caution, he'll be right back up there if he decides to come out this time.
Keep an eye on Fambrough. Where is he? He's currently running in 11th. And that's after starting up in 4th. So a little bit of a drop back for the 5 compared to his qualifying pace. He's been He's been really good at qualifying this 5 car. It's what got him into the last round last week. Had a really good qualifying effort to stay in the front of the field. Even at USA too, he's been notably up there. So he's been close on points, but not on pace, as he's been qualifying really well.
Yeah, he seems to qualify really well. On the first, quarter or so of the race, he's able to hang up there, and then I don't know if it's consistency or just tire management or what it is, but he seems to fall back just a little bit. I mean, not a huge amount.
And I think that's the big thing too, especially the qualifying pace is good and all, but especially when you running a car that you really need to take care of it over the course of a run. I think it's really going to penalize the drivers that are really good at hot lapping, because they're just going to burn up the stuff a lot further, and you're going to slowly drift back on longer runs.
Yeah, I mean, as much downforce as these cars are producing now, those tires mean a lot. I think they mean a lot in terms of pure pace than they ever have. But especially with it as hot as the track is today, I think you're going to see that exemplified. But I'm interested to see how this plays out.
Interested indeed. Timothy Johnston is back out on the track there. You see him at the end, at the top part of the screen. He's in the back of the field. He's only one lap down, so that should be definitely able for him to come back. But really, I'm curious about seeing how much pace his car has left in it. If he's going to be significantly off it, or just able to stick with the runnels.
Yeah, I mean, unless Colin Fambrough wins this race, I think he'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
But this, yeah,
you're never too sure.
That butt might cause some issues tonight.
I'll have to see on that as we're coming here for the restart. It's Debaro and Ward, similar to the initial start of this race. Green flag back in the air. These guys, see them slipping and sliding for the guys that stayed out on track. And those ultra tires actually doing a number on them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys didn't start in third gear, just to play it safe. But once again, kind of getting single filed out a little bit up towards the front. Further back, it's getting dicey.
It is getting dicey, and Thomas Bressi leading the charge of drivers that came in for an extra stop, and they're getting past Mitchell Walker. He stayed out. Definitely I think going to help out some of these guys, but those fresher tires I think going to come into big play here. I almost see Dulger in the wall.
Yeah, that mid-pack area is really fanning out.
Starting to fan out indeed. Here comes Robert Hall, though, with a really good charge to the front of the field. Now trying to chase down Anthony Debaro. He's got a big run down the back straightaway.
Does he look low? Does he look high? He's looking high. He's been looking high most of tonight. Let's see if he can make anything work with that. Riding the seam, it looks like. See if he can't get some momentum built up.
Yeah, and you don't have to look too far back, and you see Thomas Bressi. He's already made up 2 positions on the start immediately, and considering how hard it is to pass tonight, that's a really big gain. He's going to be coming up on these guys in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, the tire, as you can see, I think that's all tire right there. Bressi's been quick, but not head and shoulders above these guys in front of him. But right now, he's just mowing them down.
Yeah, and you're right, too. He's running about a 10th faster than these guys a lap, and it's also going to help him out in behind with the aero wash as he's working over the 89 of Jeff Ward. And in behind, also, Hayden Pastorius working past Riley Thompson, as well as Alec Martinez.
Yeah, if I were him, I don't think I'd be pushing too terribly hard right now, because these guys are their tires are gonna wear out just a little quicker than his are. And so, as the run continues on. But that being said, he's looking to the inside of Robert Hall now.
Yeah,
he's going to the front.
Yeah, got past Ward really easily. I'm not sure how easy it's gonna be for the 30, but I mean, he's making it work here. He's been able to stick it up the inside, and the car is sticking.
Yeah, Goodyear can make a good tire for a couple laps for him at least. So.
Yeah, well, it's definitely been good for him for a few laps. Again, he's going to have to be a little bit careful once the fall-off starts to kick in, but so far it's helping him over his competitors.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he's not just trying to ride with it. Those couple extra laps will definitely help him later on. I think burning him up right now is actually going to hurt him.
Yeah, well, try telling it to him. I think he just sees the lead right in front of him. He sees Debaro, and he wants to take it from him. There he goes for a dive to the inside. Debaro squeezing him all the way down there.
Yeah, wow. He gave him some room, but it wasn't much.
No, it was pretty much the minimum amount of room you have to give a person, and you don't really need to do a lot more. But man, Debaro's not giving up this lead easily, and I think he knows it's not going to be much of a fight. Bressi's got clean air, and look at him just walking around on the inside.
He's gone. I think he's going to just be able to pull away at a steady rate. Now, let's see if he can maintain this or if he lets Debaro kind of draft right there behind him.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem here. Now, can Bressi hold off that 27? You know, the 27's got older tires, and you can see him starting to get into the dirty area. I think he might have it, at least for the short term.
Yeah, I think I don't think you're going to see him right down there on that blue line. I think he's going to run up a little bit, just trying to arc it out, not wear the tires in quite as much, and that also hurts Debaro with that air.
And also, speaking of drivers on newer tires, Alex Martinez working through the field a little bit slower than the 24, but still making work nonetheless. Gets past Jeff Ward, now looking at Robert Hall and Anthony Debaro up ahead.
Yep.
Oh, we got a caution out. Trying to see who that's for. Oh, I think it might have been for Timothy Johnston. Back in the pits. Oh, and indeed it was. Did he have help here? He's on the outside of the 09. Oh, he did. Oh. And a huge leg to the outside wall for the 28 and Johnston. I think that's going to be night over for the 28.
If I'm Colin Fambrough right now, I'm taking any strategy I can to win this race.
And here's a 09 is Brent Jones. This is a little further back, coming out of turn 2 on the back straightaway. See me gets a run on Johnston here, gonna look up the inside, and then just gets really, really tight. And just nails the 28, and he goes into the wall. So I think that's actually the thing that's going to take out Timothy Johnston from this championship again. We'll give the official word once the points get updated at the end. But yeah,
he was 30 points ahead of the cutoff line.
He's 36, I believe. Pull it back up here again. Yeah, he's 36 clear of Greg Evans. Colin Fambrough is 15 points behind. So actually, I'll pull it up here. I have Dan Lisa open another tab to give a better count of this. So let's see. So Colin Fambrough has 2,544. Timothy Johnston 2,588. So he's 44 points clear of Colin Fambrough, and that's again the driver he's really going to be looking at. That's his biggest threat. That's the elimination spot, as I think almost everyone is down on pit lane. As we got the race off of pit road here.
And Debaro beats Bressi out of pit road. Takes the lead back.
Yeah, that's going to be big here. Just looking at the pit road delta, Bressi took an extra 3/10 on the stop, but the pit lane was second faster for Debaro than Bressi. So I think those leading spot on pit road, I think he's definitely going to be helping him out tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for him. You know, even if he's not able to keep the lead on the track, if he stays decently close, that first pit stall, it's going to help him out a huge amount tonight.
Yep, so pace been slowed down so far from 3 cautions, I believe. 3 cautions for 9 laps. Only 2 lead changes, I think, if that's any indicator of how tough it's been to make a pass up in the front. For Bressi, I think he's going to be a little bit annoyed. I think what his mindset over the last run was to try to get the lead and then just have that clean air to work with. And it did work out for him, and I'm sure he's annoyed to see that caution come out and also lose the lead. So he's going to have to start back from square one.
Yeah, lots of work to do again. Alex Martinez is now in 3rd. This kid is going places. Quite shocked how easily he's made it look tonight, driving up through the field.
Yeah, again, he's been... I think if anyone is able to drive through the field, I think it's 54. He's done it time and time again, not only in this series, but also in the Outsiders Racing League, which runs the same exact car, a Monster Energy Cup series. And that's also the thing, too. Don't know if I have mentioned it on a broadcast, that this series is switching to the B car for next season. So that's going to be an interesting turn in the way these guys have been driving. I was actually in the race on Sunday night there. It's kind of a test race and also a preseason thunder sort of thing for the new car. I love it so much more than this. These cars. It is really that old NASCAR style, again, like the old package, and really fun to drive.
Yeah, the new B cars are a lot of fun to drive. I think they're not quite as tight as the old
Yeah.
model, and I think it's going to help a lot. The setups are a lot looser than what they used to be, and I think that's what's going to draw a lot of these guys back to it that don't like the A car now.
It's going to be again, and this is the interesting thing too, because you can kind of see this over the course if you were to look at the results. Some of the guys are up in the front here. They didn't really get off to the best start with this newer package. It took them a while, especially Alec Martinez. Wasn't really the fastest in ORL when they started running the newer cars, but it took him a while. He got up there, and a lot of these other drivers as well. It took some adjusting to get back to where they were. Now they got to adjust to a completely different car, and I imagine some of them have quite a bit of experience in the newer B car that run, but others don't. And it's going to change up the order, I think, once again.
I think the other big thing to keep an eye out for is the next build. You know, it's been speculated for a long time that new tire model 7 is coming. You know, we've kind of known it's coming sometime soon. So seeing how that affects everything is definitely going to be another big factor with this stuff. So it might be even more different than what it would be if it was on the same tire model.
All right, so I've done some really quick math here. I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate, but I think this is a good indicator of what's going to have to go on. So, Timothy Johnston finishing all the way back in 26th. He's going to get, I believe, 12 points for finishing back there. So, remember, there's a 44-point gap right now that puts it to around 56. And so that means that just purely based off of finishing position, Colin Fambrough is going to have to finish above 8th to try to get to the next round. So that's going to be, I guess, the thing we got to keep an eye on tonight. Definitely doable.
Yeah. We're back green.
Yep, back green here at Charlotte. Much calmer start this time. Bressi going to immediately fall in behind Debaro as well as the first few rows. And again, seeing this time and time again. Looking for some side-by-side action through the field. Here's Shane Ewing back in 11th, rocketing around the 45 of Brian Chambliss, who just got eliminated last week.
Yeah, I think that we've seen that a few times. Oh, do we have a battle for the lead?
And already getting spicy here. Bressi not waiting at all. I thought it would have been a little bit patient. No, he's not. He's going to immediately go for the lead down in turn 3. Here comes Alec Martinez, and it's a 3-way fight.
Yeah, Debaro has that help with the down the straightaways, but I think I'd give the advantage right now to Bressi in the corner.
Yeah, he's just been trying to use that outside run to his advantage, but Bressi seemed gain a little bit off the corner, going to be a little bit loose, and he can't maintain down there for much longer. He can only be down there for a short amount of time before he really starts to burn up his tires, and you see him make a lunge.
Yeah, Bressi's really, really fighting hard for it. I think, you know, Debaro's holding him tight, but he's giving him enough room. The thing with these cars is they just get so tight underneath one another. That's going to hurt. But Bressi's sticking her nose ahead.
Yeah, you have to give a little bit of room on exit here, and Debaro's been only giving as much room as he's needed, and Bressi's been able to muscle his way past. Phenomenal job for him. And now you see Debaro taking a defensive line for Alec Martinez, who's sitting behind in third.
Let's see how hard Debaro fights for this if he's, you know, just decides to ride there for a little while.
I don't think he can really afford it right. Here comes 54. A big run down the front straightaway, almost through the grass to make a pass.
Clipping the turf there with the left front. Alex Martinez. This kid, he's got some talent, man. Yeah, he's going to give these guys a run for their money.
And remember, he's only 13. And he's driving like this. This is really, he's an incredible talent. At such a young age, has also matured quite a bit over the last few months as well. He's become a much better driver. And here he's side by side with the 27.
Hey, does anybody have Joe Gibbs Racing's phone number? I think I know somebody that they might want to be interested in talking to.
Yeah, honestly, even just for the Pro Series, I honestly think I wouldn't be surprised to see Martinez up there in a few years. You know, he's again so young, has a lot more going for him as he muscles his way past Debaro. So Debaro back in third, and then Robert Hull sitting quietly in fourth. Yeah,
that's really what seems to Robert Hull likes to do. He's there, but he'll never show it till late in the race. He's not a guy that comes out and just dominates the whole race. He'll probably run in the top 5 and then, you know, make his move late, never showing you his full hand.
Yeah, honestly, again, I'm kind of more, I guess, on Hall's strategy. That's usually how I like to run my races. You know, be patient, don't really push the boundary early on, just kind of figure out what you're able to do. And, you know, when you're at the end, when you're up in the front where it counts, then start to push. I think he's just happy sitting in fourth.
I completely agree with you. I think that's the best way to do it right now. Manage the tires, let these guys race as hard as they want, because they're going to burn them. They're going to burn them up. I mean, lap halfway is 20 laps from now, so even if he gets fourth place spots, that's going to help him a good bit in the championship, even though he can't win it.
Riley Thompson sideways off of turn 2, trying to get a run on Jeff Ward, not able to do. He's going to fall back in line. An update on your track conditions, 152.
So we're rising back up there.
Yeah, going back up. But here, 153, 153. I think we're going to get to it at this rate, especially with the more and more laps that these guys put on the track, so they're going to keep the track up more. Which is definitely what they don't want.
No, exactly. I think these guys would be happy with some short-term racing with it. But now Hall's looking all over Debaro.
Yeah, now here he's got to run. So Debaro is starting to drift back slowly as drivers keep going to his inside lane. And I'm curious on how much Hall's going to push. Again, we saw him being a little bit more conservative, but he's definitely putting up a fight with the 27.
And if you're Anthony Debaro, who's won what seems like just about every single race this season, do you really worry about getting another win,
honestly,
tonight?
No, I think, honestly, if I was him, I would just try to finish this race. Where I finish is where I finish. Because he's got a pretty, again, I think he's got over a race lead to the cutoff line, which is not something to completely rest your laurels on, but as we got a caution out on the track. And it's Brandon Key and the 16 of Jared Dixon. Dixon involved in the second wreck here.
Sam Crow also involved.
Let's see what caused this here. Whoa, 22 came down on the 16 on the back straightaway, coming off of 2. This is kind of a poor angle. We'll get a better one looking down. And here we go. Well, the 22 got into the wall, came down into the 16 a little bit, and just was swerving down. It's almost similar to what happened to the 16, just getting loose off 2 on the straightaway. And around he went. And Sam Crow just, I think, braking, trying to avoid it.
Yeah, really unfortunate for those guys there. Looks like he was just trying to make a aggressive move. Or maybe he was just trying to catch the car. Regardless, it didn't work out all that well for him.
Yeah, this car is really hard to save in these slick conditions, as you saw with Key just loose down the entire straightaway. Not something you see too often.
No, these things, they have plenty of grip till they don't, and when they don't, they just completely snap because it's all aero in terms of downforce, or in terms of grip anymore. It's not a whole bunch of mechanical grip there with the tires, and the track temperature really doesn't help that either.
Up here and down for pit stops. Again, everyone down there, you're going to take 4 tires, you're definitely not taking 2. I know in the past I've usually said, you might want to take 2 for some track position, but we saw with a 2-3 lap difference on no tires, there's significant fall off.
Let's check the race off pit road here. Let's see if Bressi's able to hold it.
Oh, he might have. He might have.
That was close. Look at Shane Ewing making up some huge track position there. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, and guess what he did?
He sped on pit road, I'm assuming.
No, he did not. He did not speed, but he took 2 tires.
Oh.
So that's going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out. I guess a little bit of an experiment. I don't know how it's going to play. I mean, I guess... I don't know. I think really, too, with, again, this package, it's made the tires wear a lot more equally than the past. You put a lot less load on one side of the car. It's more distributed. Again, you still put more on the right side, but it's about the whole part of the car. So, I don't know. How do you think this is going to play out for the 32? You think it's going to be good, play out well or not?
I think this is an interesting strategy, but I think within a couple laps, he's probably going to be regretting it. Wishing he'd stayed the extra couple seconds for the 4. Now, that being said, if we run 2 laps and we have another caution, he's able to hang on to it. Great move there, track position-wise, because we know everybody's going to come right back down pit road because they know how much tires mean. But I doubt you're really going to see him be able to hold that position.
Yeah, we saw, so Bressi now able to actually keep the lead this time, so he won that race off of pit road. But Debaro, I think that just really shows something that he was, I think, 3rd or 4th coming in to the pits, and he almost got the lead back just purely based off of that first stall.
Yeah, it's huge, and when you add in how good he is on pit road, as it is, I mean, he's able to maximize just about every week. He's the anti-Denny Hamlin. He's never getting speeding penalties, so it's hard to beat somebody like that. When you beat somebody like Anthony Debaro or Nick Kohan, you've definitely earned it. And I think Thomas Bressi's looking to be the guy tonight that might be able to do it.
I'm just kind of trying to scan through the field. Anyone interesting here? He's Casey Lacatas has some nose damage after getting some early in the race. Is currently running in 11th after starting up in 22nd. And unfortunately got eliminated last week. He's ran really well in the points. Unfortunately, crash last week pretty much took him out of it. He would have been in it, but a late race crash in the last 10 laps took him out of it. He's got breast cancer on the hood and side of that car. Never too late to support breast cancer.
That's right. It's never too late, and I think it's never too early for him to start testing out the 2021 aero packages, as it kind of looks like he's trying there with the front end concept on it.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that too is going to be entertaining to see how that's going to play out, because a lot of changes. I think this is probably going to be it's going to be bigger of a shift from the Gen 4 to the Gen 5.
Yes.
From the Gen 6 to the Gen 7. I think they've got some big changes planned.
I think it's going to be huge. I know drivers have been asking for quite a while for, less sidewall on the tire, less contact patch on the tire. So I'm hoping this helps with that. I hope they're able to dial in some more mechanical grip with the cars as opposed to relying on the aeros so much. Because I think every single one of these guys in this session and the real guys would thoroughly enjoy that as opposed to a completely aero car.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because the hilarious thing too is that they're adding diffusers to these cars, which is I don't think I've ever expected something like that, a diffuser added to a stock car, but here we are. So I'm a little bit skeptical about what they're adding. It could work out, it could also not work out, but we'll have to see.
The other interesting thing is they haven't stated anything about the engine package with it.
Yeah.
So
I've heard rumors about a hybrid system being implemented.
I've heard that as well.
Some sort of electrical storage.
These guys better get their push to pass ready.
I'm sure they wish they had some push to pass to make some
tonight.
moves. Yeah. Well, coming back to the restart here is Thomas Bressi, seeing a little bit of slipping sliding from the first three rows as they get back underway, putting all the power down. Bressi easily going to take away the lead. Can Debaro do anything now, being in behind in second place?
Big move there by Alex Martinez, blocking down one of the. Let's see who that was. I can't tell the two teammate cars apart
19.
from a distance. Hayden Pastorius threw a big move on him. Shane Ewing.
Speaking of big moves, up in the front, Debaro getting into Bressi. He's sideways in the corner, but he saves it. Oh, boy.
Does he? He's still willing it.
Wow! What an amazing
move.
Wow. How about that? A full drift through 3 and 4, and an absolute pack race now in behind. Oh boy.
I think he's got to look into some non-wing sprint car racing at this point in time, because if he can hold that, I think he'll be all right.
That was probably one of the best saves I've ever seen in a stock car. Period.
I think so too.
And I want to take a look back at it, but I'm scared we're going to miss something. So we'll let this kind of die back down, and then we'll take a gander. But wow.
Yeah, that guy going through the grass at Monza has nothing on Thomas Bressi right now.
That was incredible. And he's still running in third after all that.
Yeah.
He barely lost any
I can't
spots.
believe he didn't get up.
All right, I think the thing I'm going to take now is the time I'm going to take advantage of this, and we're going to go for a look here. So here's the restart of this race with Thomas Bressi up in the front. It all went awry down into turn 3. We're actually going to take a ride on board with the 24 and just watch this handwork here. Here's Debaro in behind, makes a move, gets tapped. And what absolute car control. Really does look like he's driving a sprint car.
Yeah, non-wing sprint car, mind you. If you're that sideways in a wing car, you're doing it wrong. Um, so, but yeah, unbelievable there. Hats off once again to Thomas on that one, and he's still looking like he's got a challenge. Robert Hall's looking to the outside now, trying to get some momentum built up to make a run on Anthony Debaro.
Yeah, well, I'm curious what happens when Bressi gets back up to the 27. Because 27 really has not made a lot of friends this season. That's putting that light.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that myself, but I wonder, also wondering how much damage does that 24 really want to do to the front end of that car to get the lead back.
I don't know. We'll see if he does it now, if he does it later. He's definitely the 27 owes him something.
Yeah. Wow, Robert Hall is really looking, almost to the wall there. Anywhere he can go.
Yeah, this is a matter of just trying to find some real estate on this track, just testing out these lanes. See, I've been noticing drivers look more and more up the track as we put more rubber down.
Yeah, we're also closing in on halfway. I think that's what these guys are really racing for. Now, halfway's lap 67 of this event. We're coming to lap 60 now, so not a whole bunch of time left to get those halfway points.
Yeah, indeed, and just saw there for a moment, track time still 152, so it's still hot, still slick, and Bressi finally makes the pass on the 30.
Ooh, that was tight.
Yeah, a little bit tight. You can see Hall getting all over the 24. Oh, this is looking like deja vu. Almost gave him a bump.
That was closer than I would have liked it to been.
Yeah, well, Hall keeping it close, but not overstepping the boundary. I feel like a boundary's about to be overstepped here as the 24 is closing back in on Debaro. Now I'm curious if he's going to attempt to fight it back, and especially after seeing what the 24 is willing to do, or if he's going to wait on this and just try to outrun the 27 on tires.
I would. The second one would be my call. Don't do something till you have a chance. Don't wreck somebody until you know that they can't get back to you. Is always what I've been told. So I think if I was Thomas Bressi, I wouldn't wreck him, but I'd definitely move him and make sure to just run his way as fast as I can. Don't let him even get back to me.
Yeah, there he has a look down into turn 1 to the inside. It's going to have barely a nose to the inside of the quarter panel. I see the 24 drifting out of 2, trying to keep the car down there. I just don't think he's got enough tires, especially after doing a spin like that.
Ooh, that was tight down there into 3.
Oh,
wow.
He's getting loose off of 4. Yeah, I think he's gonna have to. I think he has no choice but to back off, at least for a bit. These tires, I can't imagine, are really hot, and here comes Robert Hall to the outside.
Robert Hall's gonna take any advantage he's got right now.
And I think again, just a matter of testing the waters here. He's gonna have a run off of turn 2. Now look down on the back straightaway to the inside. Gonna have to back off here. Bressi still
sideways.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh.
Easy there.
That's out there. 170 miles an hour.
Yeah. Again, I've obviously might honestly drop back to the end of this kind of pack, let the tires cool off instead of keep pushing, because I think he's really. Oh yeah, it's getting worse every single corner. It's not getting better.
Yeah, most of the time with a stock car, you can't really see it as much when they're sideways. Right now, you can absolutely see that Thomas Bressi is wheeling it. That wheel, I almost guarantee you, is 90 degrees to the right, halfway through some of those corners.
Yeah, and he's just fighting the wheel. He's riding on board here. We're right on board with him through turns 1 and 2. So he's having to put a lot of work into that wheel. Starts to get loose mid-corner. Has the wheel almost center. And just kind of shaking it around, trying to keep it going straight.
I'm kind of surprised these guys haven't been able to get by him with as much wheel input he's putting into that thing.
I think this is definitely going to affect him on the long run here. I haven't had a really long run so far, but coming up on it.
No, and I think Thomas Bressi is like, okay, who's going to wreck for 90th? We need it to happen right now.
I think, yeah, he's definitely going to need to come down and get better tires. I think he's going to be victim to a lot of these guys behind, especially Martinez. I think Martinez is also just waiting for the 24 to make a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in that position, you can see the guy struggling in front of you. I wouldn't push it, burn your stuff up too. Let him come to you. You have plenty of time still left in this race to make something happen.
So far, Debaro's been able to expand the lead up to 0.6 of a second. Not the biggest gap for the lead we've seen. We've seen that expand to about 1.3 seconds. It doesn't sound like a lot, but with the way these guys have been racing, that is worth quite a bit. Although it's gone up to 0.8 this time by.
Another thing I want to point out: Shane Ewing has dropped to the last car in the lead lap right now. So those two tires really seem to hurt him there. But I think something else happened as well that we maybe didn't catch.
But as these guys come across the line, we're halfway through this race. And the interesting thing about that, it's going to give some bonus points to Colin Fambrough running in 9th. I think he's going to get 4, if I am not mistaken. But he's definitely going to get some amount of points. And again, he's just within the cusp of getting it. I think if he finishes 8th, he should be getting that spot, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look like he has any teammates in the top 10. Oh! Car down on the infield. What happened there? Oh, that's huge!
Oh, Riley Thompson, yeah, he comes back up on the track, caution out.
I thought that was on the
He's trying to find out who it was. And unfortunately, the 58, I think, had some trouble coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, he was doing his best impression of Thomas Bressi.
Whoa, yeah. Went down actually into the road course, into that final chicane.
Oh, speaking of Colin Fambrough, almost destroys him coming back up onto the track.
Oh, he got really lucky there. Man,
I think his life just flashed before his eyes on that one.
Yeah, we'll take a look here at Colin Fambrough. There's a 58 spinning. Whoa! Man, he got really lucky there.
And that's going to work into his favor. He's not going to be running 8th. So, it's maybe a blessing in disguise for him on that one.
I guess so. Although I think for a moment he probably didn't think that it was going to be going to work out in his favor. He almost got creeped in. Here's the 56, 58, and you can hear him too. That he doesn't get sideways from the grass. He's just trying to keep it going straight. That pretty much drives like asphalt down there.
Yeah, I mean the turf doesn't, at least on here, doesn't dig. You don't really dig in as much with the turf. Certain other tracks, I think that spoiler would have been gone. Also, there's a lot more asphalt now in the infield where they have the roval here.
So he's trying to save it. I think he probably might have expected it too, the way he was driving. He might have expected it to handle like grass, but the asphalt, he caught grip, and the car went flying back onto the racing surface. So I think that might be night over for the 58, or if not, it's going to be extensive repairs as everyone comes down onto pit lane.
Yeah, regardless of what they change on the car, I think he needs a new pair of boxers after that one. So, mandatory pit stop for sure on that.
And race off of pit road is going to be Debaro, Bressi, Martinez. Then I think Pastorius, Ward, Hull, Paulson, Fambrough, and Hensley your top 10.
Yeah. Hall lost a couple positions on that one. Looks like he just got caught between two guys and had to check up a little bit, so they didn't get just wrecked.
And so he'll keep it going, though. Still been running pretty decent inside the top 10. I'm really hoping he does show up for next season, because the few races he's shown up for throughout this season, he's done phenomenally well. And again, could have been a championship contender. Unfortunately, showed up too late to qualify for it.
Yeah, and the other thing with Hall is I don't think he's going to have any issues transferring over to the B car. He can drive just about anything on the service. He ran really well with us in our short but sweet sprint car series. I think he ended up winning the championship in that. Darn you. I believe he also won the championship in the trucks that got cut short as well. So, I mean, the dude's proven time and again that he knows how to wheel a race car in any capacity.
Yep, well, I imagine we're going to see a lot of that experience going into next season. But currently at the front, it's a story of Anthony Debaro, Thomas Bressi, and Alec Martinez. And Bressi, I think he needed this caution to come out because he was really struggling on this tire. He's got 4 fresh Goodyears on. Now has a chance to get back at the 27, and boy, I think he's going to get back.
Yeah.
Because a couple times on the last run, it looked like he was actually driving in to take out the 27. In all honesty.
Maybe. I would be shocked. Like I said, still this early on, with it, but you never know.
Yeah, I
You never know.
think definitely what we're seeing is that there's no love lost between these two.
Oh, absolutely not.
So, wouldn't be too surprised if things go the wrong way. If anything, I think Alex Martinez is hoping that it goes the wrong way because then he can take the lead.
I mean, the top three right now are the guys that all tonight we've been really focusing on. It's just the big contenders. Everybody else has, been here and there. But those three, for sure tonight, are, I would say, almost in their own class.
Yeah, and how about Alex Martinez, too? Started in 21st all the way up into 3rd. He actually made really quick work of the field. Didn't take him that long to get to the front. But actually,
I think the only thing... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I think the only thing he hasn't done is let a lap. I mean, he hasn't gotten close, but no cigar.
I think the big thing that's hurting him right now is that poor qualifying in terms of pit stall selection.
Yeah.
He's just so far back.
Yeah, that play, again, 21st pit stall, so he's smack dab in the middle of pit lane. I think, again, and we're definitely been seeing Debaro, that first pit stall has been saving him quite a bit here. So he's been taking full advantage of that. And unfortunately, Bressi's been caught out a lot of times on pit road, just due to the 27 having that advantage.
I'm interested to see how this restart plays out. If these guys have any drafting partners, they try and mix it up for a little while, or if they just ride smooth.
And we're just past halfway, gone for quite a while. Haven't had really long green flag runs, and I think actually, too, if we can pull it up here real quickly, this is the 5th caution of the night. So slow pace for tonight's race, although I imagine for these drivers it's felt like an eternity.
Probably. I mean, for me at least, it's seemed like it's clicked by pretty quick up here watching. We had a lot to talk about, though.
Oh yeah, we definitely have, and I think we're going to have even more to talk about in the second part of this race. Pace car is going to be in here. Alex Martinez is going to actually give a little bit of a bump to the 27 on the start. And Debaro going to go flying and away. Green flag back in the air.
Bressi immediately moves down to take the inside line. It's going to leave Ward up there on the high side with Robert Hall. Looks like Hall is going to tuck in to the bottom too. So once again, getting single filed out of the top little section.
Colin Fambrough currently running in 7th. He's right on that line of getting in here. If he can continue to run, especially with Thompson running to the problems and actually going to retire out of this race. And only leaves 23 cars left on the track and on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's going to definitely play into his advantage, with that. Luckily for...
Whoa, Bressi loose off of turn 2, going to go sliding up into the wall a little bit. Martinez got to his inside and was able to get past, and now Jeff Ward will as well. So Bressi's problem's not entirely sorted out. I don't think it's a problem with the car. I think he might be just running it a little bit too hard.
I mean, he could also be flustered behind the wheel after everything that's happened tonight and just trying to maybe overdriving the car a little bit.
And I think that's the result of it. There you see some damage to the right side of the car. Didn't do a whole lot to him, but definitely not going to help him.
No. It's not like back in the... Got some guys going down to the apron.
Yeah. I think that's Hensley down there. Not sure what happened to him.
Looks like he's got some serious right side damage there on the right front.
Oh yeah, I think something off of turn 2. Just a look back at what happened. Yeah, just clipped the wall. And then I think I think he probably went down there to let people on by.
That's the smart thing to do.
Back up to the front, Martinez now trying to challenge Anthony Debaro for the lead. And we got Jeff Ward, Bressi, and Robert Hollier top 5.
Guy we haven't really talked about much tonight is Jeff Ward, running 3rd right now.
Yeah, he's been running pretty quiet. He's been out of the conversation, and I think that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like this.
I think that's, I mean, him and Hall are, I think, kind of on the same page in that book. They're just quiet. They're there, you see them, but they're not making big moves or try anything risky.
Yeah, you can see again, track temp still really hot, over 150 degrees.
Back up to 151.
Yep. And definitely, if anything, if the track hasn't gotten more heated, it's definitely been the drivers that have gotten a lot more heated under their helmets. But really, one thing I was interested in seeing is if Bressi can get back to Debaro. Looks like he's started to slowly drift on back, and I'm curious if he'll be under attack here from Hall or Pastorius, or if they'll just ride it out behind him. I mean, if you're Bressi, what do you do at this point?
Regroup. That's what I'm trying to do at this point in time. Yeah, this race hasn't quite gone as well as I was hoping it to, but right now I need to focus on my tires, need to focus on my race car, and not let anybody else mess with me. Just think forward. Don't get into a rut. That's personally what I would do, and say, okay, let's see what I can do to get back up there to the front.
Unfortunately, the guy trying to hamper his progress is Hull. He was trying to make a pass on Bressi, couldn't get it done, but Bressi still, I see him sliding off of the corners here, and again, it's only going to get worse, especially as he's got these two cars right behind him.
Yeah, and it's not like he's behind a car per se that's having some aero washout. Well, I think it's just either tires or just being flustered. Maybe that damage is affecting him too.
Yeah, it could be starting to see a little bit of a gap emerge as Bressi's 0.8 seconds behind, just where the top three have kind of broken away from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, I think that's just due to those guys being hung up right behind him right now. I think those, Pastorius and Hall are definitely quicker. They just don't have really any place to go right yet.
I guess we'll take this time to look through some of the other drivers through the field that we haven't really talked about. Brian Chandler's currently running in 10th. Casey Lacatas, with his quote-unquote 2021 aero package, is running in 9th place and actually working on Derek Paulson. And Paulson, too, has been running really well.
How the hell did that now caught posture?
He better trademark that front end before Toyota gets it from him, so. Because it seems to be working decent enough to run inside the top 10 tonight.
Something happened to Christopher Matthews. Take a look here.
Ooh.
You shouldn't have done that.
Oh, there's a massive wreck here coming off of turn 4. And it's Don Runkle that got loose into the wall, hit the 92 of Chris Matthews, and he went flying into the pit lane. And Runkle got sideways on the front straightaway, but no caution came out as they were off the racing surface. So Runkle and I think Matthews are going to be out of this race.
Another situation where poor Sam Crow was just wrong place, wrong time. Nothing of his own doing.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's been a rough night for him. Meanwhile, battle for 4th place between Robert Hall and Thomas Bressi. I think Hall's going to have it here. He's got to run and the lane down into the inside in turn 3. Bressi trying to pinch him, though. You can see how tight he gets in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, and then it's tight, snap loose.
It's probably, I think, one of the worst things for drivers to experience, at least coming from my experience, is having the car being so tight, and then just when you think you're able to get back on the gas, it snaps loose back around you.
Yeah, with other aero packages and other cars, you could, back the corner up some to help with that. With these things, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
If the car is that way, sorry, you're just out of luck, unfortunately. There's really not too much you can do.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of backing up corners with this newer package. If you back up the corner, you're going to lose a lot of time and some spots.
No, I think that will actually play. I mean, that might you might see it get a little better as the tires wear in some, as the pace slows down, but it's not going to be huge. The pace is still going to be so quick that it's not going to make too much of a difference, but it's going to help him some.
Bressi fighting side by side with Hayden Pastorius. Pastorius trying to keep the car stuck down there, and again, Pastorius is running in the playoffs with these guys, and is looking for a really good finish tonight as well. And he's just above that cut line, and this should put him even more safe going to the next few weeks. Shane Ewing, meanwhile, has struggled quite a bit. We saw him try that 2-tire strategy earlier, put him all the way in the back of the field, and unfortunately hasn't been able to move past that since. Mitchell Welker sideways on the back straightaway and down to the inside. Caution going to be out for the 76.
I wonder if this is another one of those just got loose out of turn 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he was loose coming out of turn 1. And then just got loose out of turn 2, overcorrected it into the wall, and went for a spin down to the inside.
That's a weird place to get loose entering turn 1 like that. There's a bit of a bump that exists as you go down, but it got loose way past that. So I don't know if that's just what caused that.
He got loose in the middle of 1 and 2, and then was able to fix it. But then he got loose coming out of turn 2, so unfortunately that's gonna put him back. He's still out on the track though, but gonna have some damage to his car.
Yeah, but as it rises up, the track does in turn 1, and then lands, much like at Dover, especially in turn 1 here. I've noticed that the car likes to get really, really tail happy, and I was thinking that's what caused that, but no, it happened like good ways after that. Fortunate for Michelle Walker, though.
Well, repeat after me, down on pit road, 4 tires. Not a whole lot of deviation from that. We've seen some experimentation, but I think at this point, everyone's realized that you can't really do much with this.
No, it's so locked into 4 tires. Tonight they just mean so much.
Everyone rolling slowly into their pit stalls, not overshooting it. We'll see here if we do see any shenanigans or if someone makes a mistake coming off a pit road, but it looks like it's going to be Debaro. Ooh, Jeff Ward, interesting thing. I think I might have just seen him stop to let Martinez on by.
I wonder if he's playing some games there.
I think he is. I'm going to take a look at that. It's off the nose of the 89, so listen to the throttle. Yeah. If he did do that, smart move, honestly. I think starting in 3rd, it's going to be key. That's almost guaranteed 2nd place. That outside lane's just not been able to go.
It could be that. I think the other thing it might have been is he was just heads up, not trying to go into the tire barrier with those guys coming as fast as they were on the outside.
Yep, could be. All right, we're just going to take a quick commercial break. Need to adjust 1 or 2 things, so we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, and we're back here at Charlotte, coming up for the restart here for after another caution period. And notably, I was looking down the order, and the 24 Bressi's fallen all the way back to 7th. So this night has gone from good to kind of mediocre really fast for the 24. Ever since he got sideways off of the nose of the 27, it's been a slow drift backwards.
Yeah, I wonder if he takes that, that Ewing one to a different race this season, because I don't think he's going to get back to him tonight.
Yeah, well, I think Bressi should be more than good to the next round. Yeah, he's good by quite a bit, so he'll definitely make it to the next round, so that'll be interesting to see if he does give that payback. But up in the front, Debaro going to lead the field down, Martinez on the outside, Ward in third, green flag back in the air. And we're seeing Ward now taking advantage of that third place starting spot, going to immediately pass Martinez before they get to the turn. Hill, Pastorius, and how about Casey Lacatus with that car up in 6th place?
Yeah, that aero package is working great for him on this restart. Maybe some extra downforce for him.
I guess you could probably use it. Here comes Jeff Roy now looking to the inside of Debaro. Couldn't get it done in time. And Robert Hill still rocking that outside lane. You can see him trying it again and again. And honestly, it's been working for him. I think later in this race, it's starting to kind of be viable.
Yeah, I think later in the run, you're right. As the pace slows down, he's able to use that momentum. But everything early on, it's all about cutting distance off the track.
And it's a swarm around Thomas Bressi in that 24. He's got cars in front of him, cars in behind him, all really close together. This could potentially be a dangerous spot. Here comes Casey Lacatus now making a pass for 5th place on Hayden Pastorius.
So I have an update on the points for everyone as well. For Fambrough to bump Johnston, he has to lead a lap and finish 9th or just finish 8th. If he finishes 2nd or better, he will knock out Kohan.
Ooh. Interesting. So that's kind of how the tables are turned here for this race. And interesting stuff developing. Well, currently Fambrough's running in 8th, and that's kind of where he's been running. So honestly, I think he might have this.
I mean, he's been running around that 7th to 10th place area all night. So if he can average it out and finish about 8th, I think he'll be all right. Or if we get another caution, stay out a lap.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm curious too if he's been doing the math and decided to have someone else to do the math for him, because currently he's to the good. Not sure if he knows that though.
I'm not quite sure either. But right now, Derek Castor and him are running side by side, so I don't think Derek's really cares too much. Maybe
No, I think for a lot of guys, a lot of them don't care about the picture too much. Here's also Shane Ewing emerging back inside the top 10. It's been a while since he's been back up here. He's been struggling. Going to give a huge shove to the 60 down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I wanted to say all that Ford powered looking at the paint scheme, but then I realized, oh wait, that's on a Toyota, not a Ford.
It's interesting use of a paint scheme. It reminds me of Dale Earnhardt on a Toyota.
Yeah. So Fambrough finishes 9th. They tie. Johnston has a tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he needs to lead that lap.
I see. Okay. That makes sense. So Fambrough again to the good, but barely has got a lot of guys in behind him that want his spot. Not all playoff drivers. In fact, the only one really in behind him at the moment is Shane Ewing. Moving back to the top of the order, it's Debaro, Ward, and Martinez. Ward, I guess, taking over for Bressi as his top 3 is split away from the rest of the pack.
And we've kind of seen that all night. The top 3 or 4 cars pull away, have a decent gap to the rest of the pack, and then from about 5th on back, it's decently packed up. But still a lot of single file racing right now. I mean, we're getting down to less than 35 to go. Is it go time for you, or do you think you want to wait just a little more?
Oh, I see Ward slipping and sliding off at turn 2. Honestly, I would say, yeah, no, it's probably around go time. I mean, looking at the amount, we only have 20 cars out on the track, 19 of them on the lead lap, and a lot of them with different amounts of damage. So I think the odds of having a caution now are lower than at any point in the race. So I think definitely, if you're especially one of these top 3, I would say try to go for it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The only thing I worry about is late race cautions. If we have a long green flag run, who knows what can happen? You know, even it doesn't matter where at in the field, because you can see guys everywhere are loose.
And even actually looking a little bit further back, it looks like Colin Fambrough actually catching up to Thomas Bressi, and has a chance of passing it. Fambrough good as they run right now, but he's got Paulson right in behind him. Paulson's not been giving him the most room. He's trying to get that spot from Fambrough.
Yeah, I mean, they've been racing hard pretty much the whole race for that, right around that position.
I will say, though, if Fambrough does knock out Timothy Johnston, Johnston has the most rotten luck with this playoff system, because a similar situation happened to him last year, where he got taken out by a lap car. And then this year, it wasn't a lap car, but a car that was, actually might have been a lap car. I'm not entirely sure about that myself, but no, I don't think it was a lap car, but got into a slower car and just got taken out in the corner, and that's going to cost him a spot in the finals. So unfortunately, it's a cutthroat system, and he's going to get the short end of the stick.
There's still a lot of racing to go left, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but at the moment,
it's trending that way.
Fambrough's just gonna get in.
Yeah, by one position, the most important eighth place finish in his entire career.
Honestly, I'm really curious in seeing how far Fambrough can go, because every single round, from he barely got into the chase at the start of the season, or the finals at the start of the finals at USA. He barely qualified in, and then last week, too, he also barely got in after there was a wrecked car. He just got the final spot, making it in. So, and here he is again, barely going to scrape on by. So he's been making his way through the playoff finals field and doing a good job at it so far.
I mean, what an upset that would be if he won the championship. Made it to the final 4. The top 3 contenders wrecked, and he was just able to cruise home.
I mean, yeah, he's got some decent pace in the 5. Not race-winning pace, I don't think, but he's got solid, consistent pace. And again, the consistent finishes is what's been doing it for him.
And the qualifying efforts have been big. I mean, as we see, if he's able to get a pole at one of these next couple races, which I could see happening with his, as good of a qualifying pace as he's had, that first pit stall is huge, as we've seen tonight. So, that would be a major upset. He was able to sneak one away from, somebody like Debaro or Bressi or even Kohan.
Yeah, it's kind of looking around the track. Not a whole lot of battles going on. A lot of drivers close, but not much of a cigar. Alec Martinez has been getting pretty close to the back of Jeff Ward. We might see a pass here. And Ward's running a little bit higher off the corner. Martinez has been able to keep that car a lot more planted. And here he is with the run.
Yeah, I wonder if Martinez has been saving his tires. Man, he made that look easy.
Yeah, I think
Ward I don't know if Ward let him by.
I think Ward let him by just a little bit. I think he figured there's not much worth fighting with the 54. Might be able to use the 54 to his advantage to get back up to Debaro. And speaking of which,
use some draft.
Yeah, and speaking of which, now let's see if Martinez, if he's been saving some tire, and he's been really good at doing that, if he's able to now catch back up to the 27.
What a story that would be. Started 21st, drove through the field, made it look easy, and won.
Well, we'll see if he can continue to get there. And also, Robert Hall, too, don't just count out this 30 car just yet. He's also driven him back to his top 3 and catching up to Jeff Ward pretty quickly. I'm curious if Ward will let him on by as well.
I think Ward's probably saving his tires right now. I think he'll probably hold on tight to that 3rd spot just in case something does happen.
You say that, but I just actually saw him sliding off of turn 2, so I think he might. I don't know if he necessarily even has enough tire left to save. I think he's just trying to hang on.
I just think he's going to probably race pretty hard for that 3rd spot, just in case the caution still comes out. 1 spot's, one thing, but start giving up 2 or 3, you lose that lead pack,
Whoa.
you're in deep trouble. Wow, that was loose.
Oh boy, he almost went sideways into the wall like what Jared Dixon and a few others did. Narrowly saved it. I think he might end up just letting the third round by. I don't think he has enough left in the car to save or to hold up that 30.
We've seen some impressive displays of driving tonight with guys saving stuff on old tires.
The funny thing, the tires aren't even that old. We've only
No,
gone
but
green
just
for trying to find the button somewhere. No,
yeah, it looks like as the car unloads coming off the corner, that's really when it, catches up with him and just gets really, really squirrely. That being said, he's sliding up the center of the corner through 3 and 4 as well.
there it is. So we've only done 20 laps on these tires. So we haven't even, they're not even that significantly old. They're around the middle of their life maybe. But these guys are really struggling like it's the end of the run.
I think that's just down to the heat and the track. It's just accelerating how fast these tires wear out.
Yeah, so Case Lacoste out of line for a second. And honestly, I'm amazed. This car looks like he's been put a lap down. Not that he's running 6th, and he's somehow been able to stick it up here with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, it's a really impressive run for him. He's had a lot of good runs here lately, but with as damaged as that front nose is and aero dependent these cars are, that's impressive. Also, big credit to the iRacing damage model on this one for not having him lose a cylinder.
Yeah, I think that was also a big thing too, because once you lose power, you're really off the pace. It's almost game over.
And with as much front end damage as that car has, I'm surprised he doesn't.
Up for the lead here, these guys actually catching up to Don Runkle Jr. up ahead. He could be a factor, but Martinez working to the outside. Interesting thing. I haven't really seen a lot of guys go to the outside lane for a pass. But Martinez giving it a go. He's going to have a run off the corner. Going to go look down low, down into turn 3.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to catch lap traffic quite in time. Hopefully they stay out of the way. But man, that's not much room down there in the corner.
Yeah, well, the way these guys are racing, I hope they stay out of the way, or it's going to get really interesting up in the front. But Martinez is going to, I think, barely nudge ahead of Debaro. Actually, don't think he led that lap.
Nope, Debaro still led that lap.
Yeah, Martinez still fighting down into turn 1 for the lead of the race. I think Martinez has got better tire than the 27, but he's got that run off the corner. Oh, and they almost make contact.
He got loose. Debaro was able to hold him down just a little bit. Now he's got to go back, redo all that work on him.
Well, it was a solid attempt from the 54, testing the waters. He's got a decent amount of time left, but again, the more these guys are on their tires, the less of a chance you're going to have to make that pass. So,
and you know who's probably really liking this? Robert Hall back and forth. Yes, boys, use them tires up. I'll just ride here at the coast, take home an easy W.
He has still yet to get by the 89 of Jeff Ward, which is a little bit surprising to me. I thought he would have passed him by now, but again, might just be happy running in. Again, Ward actually hasn't lost a whole lot of time to them, so I guess that's his reason.
Yeah, I mean, as the pace has slowed down, this is probably, I think this is our longest green flag run yet. I'm not trying to do the commentator's curse and jinx it, but, maybe the pace has just slowed up enough. I mean, we're 3 seconds almost off our qualifying times right now. So that's huge. In terms of pace, so I think these guys with older tires are able to just kind of hang on a little bit too, that they wouldn't be able to do with, running against fresher tires.
Just kind of looking back through the field, a little bit of an update on this kind of second group, and behind Bressi leading over Colin Fambrough, Derek Castor, Brian Chambliss, and Derek Paulson. And here comes Fambrough now fighting for the 8th spot. That's for the transfer spot into the next round of the finals to kick Johnston out in the 48, trying to take that spot away.
This is going to get very interesting.
Yeah, and again, whoa, 48 of Castor sideways as he tries to get clear in behind the 5. And again, that's just kind of showing you visually how loose and how on edge these guys are on the straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, that's normal here and there to see some guys losing in the corner, but they're trying to heap it under them on the straightaway. It's I've not seen that on an asphalt car in quite some time, outside of the asphalt sprint car.
And the funny thing to think is, again, these guys are running 550 horsepower on a package with a lot of drag and a lot of downforce. Could you imagine if they were on the older package around here?
It would be nuts.
It would be, I think it would be borderline undrivable.
Almost, yeah.
With 800, 900 horsepower and little downforce, oh boy.
I mean, you'd only be using a lot of point in times less than half throttle.
Yeah,
just trying to keep the car.
a lot of throttle control.
Oh yeah. But I think a lot of guys would take that.
Well, here is Alex Martinez back for the lead, looking just a lane and a half above Anthony Debaro going to these turns now, looking down low. He's just trying to find some sort of a place he can work with, but no cigar.
Going anywhere, he's not. Oh, he's looking to the inside here. He's got a good run down into turn 1.
And this could be it here. I think Debaro's got a better run to that outside. You see him giving lane just to get the run off the corner.
And this is a different strategy than we've seen out of Debaro all night. He's really been holding guys, not giving us a whole bunch of room, but down, running up as far as he can. Now he's back to his normal line.
Yeah, there it is. Not giving as much room in 3 and 4, but Martinez still keeping into the gas here, coming to the line. 15 laps to go.
And if you're a guy like Alex Martinez, and this happens the rest of the race, do you use your right side up if he does something like that?
I mean, again, neither of these drivers are in a position where they necessarily need to win. I mean, they can take first and second and easily walk away with it. Those extra 10 points for finishing one position higher, I don't think is going to kill them. So it's really just a matter of how much Martinez wants to force the issue. He's not a dirty driver, that 54. He'll try to race clean as much as he can. So, and again, considering there's not much on the line, I think he might just settle in for second if he can't get the win.
I wonder if this is more of just a power move from him too, just trying to get into Debaro's head.
Could be.
Like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, and you see him looking all the way to the outside, up by the wall. One of the first guys I've seen do that, other than Robert Hill.
Robert Hill and Shane Ewing have been the only guys, up there running the Kyle Larson line. Monkey see, monkey do. Robert Hall's back up there, running the high side too, but losing a lot of time doing it.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure if it's just been him stuck up in behind the 89, but actually Ward's caught back up.
Yeah, I think it's just been these guys fighting, mainly. That's allowed that, as Martinez is looking back to the inside. He's got a good run coming off the corner here.
Yeah, and I think what it's going to be, this run down the back straight, that might kill him or not. Actually, this is the best chance he's had at taking the lead all race. Can he get it into 3? Does he make a dive? Bro, going to pinch him down to the blue line.
You were right on both accounts. It's white and blue, but wow.
Whoa, sideways off of turn 4 is just going to nudge ahead. He'll finally, I think, lead a lap.
He got that lap.
Yeah, that was actually his first lap led this entire race, and he might have him in turn 1 here. He's going to get clear this 27. He's going to take the lead. How about that?
The 27 is going to have a huge run coming off the corner, though.
Yeah, now this is going to be interesting. I don't think Debaro has a good enough car in traffic. When we saw him get behind Bressi, he struggled quite a bit. I don't know how he's going to be in behind Martinez.
I'm surprised he's able to follow him that close throughout the corner. There he goes. He loses the front end a little bit, but...
Oh, Martinez.
Yeah.
He's dirt tracking out of 4.
Here comes Ward.
Yeah, Jeff Ward, I think now it's the time to step on the gas now that Martinez has got the lead. There he goes immediately to the inside of Debaro. And
even if he can't get the lead, here from him, second, it's awesome. Man, he's loose coming off turn 2.
He's going to get a little bit of a side draft going down into turn 3 here. I think Debaro, again, really struggling once he's in traffic. And I think this is what Ward was waiting for.
I completely agree with you. Smart move by Jeff Ward, but he's going to tuck it right back in behind Anthony Debaro. Wasn't able to do anything. We have less than 10 to go.
Yeah, it's crunch time now.
It's definitely go time.
Pretty much your top 4 here are the only drivers really with a chance to win this race. The next car behind is 3 seconds back to Hayden Pastorius and Casey Lakatos, and then this other group of cars, Thomas Bressi, Colin Fambrough, and Brian Chambliss.
And speaking of, wow, what a race for 8th place right now.
Oh, what a race for 2nd. Ward and Debaro almost made contact coming out of turn 4, and Ward's going to get the line. I think he's going to get it going down into turn 1 here.
Yeah, he's able to take this flat away from him. I don't think Debaro's really going to be able to answer back. Wow!
He tried to, but Ward put him almost into the wall trying to defend. And now Ward's going to be in second place. Here comes Robert Hall now for third. Thinking about having a look, he's going to back off of it.
Yeah, I think that was a wise decision there to just kind of back out, roll out of it. Not end up getting in a situation. But Alex Martinez is just able to drive away throughout all of this. I don't think anybody's going to be able to get to him unless we have a late race caution.
Speaking of which, I actually think something happened to the two. Oh, indeed, something big happened to the two of Calvin Filarski. This is coming off of turn 4 just a few moments ago. Just gets a little bit too wide, gets into the wall, creams the front stretch wall, and then comes sliding, wow, just in behind Mitchell Welker. He goes sliding across the grass. That could have been the caution right there.
Oh, speaking of, Derek Paulson loses it down the back straightaway, nails the inside wall, and there's a caution.
Oh, boy.
And it's the same thing we've seen all night.
This gets loose. Yeah, same exact thing we've seen all night long. Gets loose off of turn 2, goes flying to the inside wall. And oh boy, oh boy.
Well, Debaro is thanking his lucky stars right now for this caution. Because that first pit stall, I think, is going to get... honestly, I think it's going to give it right back to him.
There's another look here at what happened to Paulson when he's spinning to the inside wall. But yeah, we'll quickly back to pit road. Right before these guys come down pit road. And it's on.
I don't think anybody tries 2 here. Everybody's seen tonight just how much tires mean,
yeah.
So...
Especially
this is the easiest 4th car.
Yeah, we had a pretty solid run as well. Yeah, we went 40 laps.
Yeah.
That was the longest green flag run of the race by far.
Who's going to pull a Denny Hamlin, try and take 2 here, and everybody's going to question it?
Oh, I thought you were referring to pulling a Denny Hamlin by speeding on pit lane, which you could definitely also do as well.
You could also do. Man, Debaro is all over Jeff Ward on pit road bump drafting.
He needs to make up this time. He knows he can gain a lot from that first stall. This could be his one chance to win this race here. If he can get the track position, Shane Ewing went through a stall in the background. He's not really going to be a factor. This is going to be interesting here. Who's going to drop on the jacks first? Martinez out and under away. Oh, it's going to be close.
Oh, this is going to be close.
Be close
but
indeed.
I think it's gonna
there
be...
we go. Jacks drop. Who's going to make to the line? Oh.
I can't call that one.
I can't either. What does iRacing say? Jeff Ward's going to take it. How about that? Alec Martinez, then Anthony Debaro in third. This could kind of be good for Debaro because he's going to be restarting in third as opposed to second. Robert Hall in fourth, and Case Lockout is still somehow running inside the top 5 with that car. Absolutely amazing stuff.
Unbelievable.
Yes, and Colin Fambrough, he's going to be in 9th. He actually should cycle back out to 8th because Derek Paulson has stayed out. But yeah, at this point, Fambrough, he couldn't really afford to stay out to lead that lap. He would have lost way too many spots, so he pretty much has to stay where he is now, and it's going to be interesting to see the fight for that spot. But before we go back green, I really want to take a look at that race off pit road. I wish I had a better angle, because I didn't think pit road would be this close.
I didn't either. I thought it was going to be Debaro easily.
Actually, that was a good angle. I'll go back just a little bit. Here they come off of pit road, and whoa. Go from up above, I think actually would be the best angle. There you see at the line. You can try to freeze frame that on YouTube, but man, that was really, really close.
Wow.
And that might have determined the race here, because the leader has a huge advantage.
With 4 laps to go, I think we're gonna we might have a green light checkered here.
I don't think it's gonna necessarily count as a green light checkered. I think we might actually get it with 3 laps to go. 3 laps of racing left, which I think Martinez and Debaro are gonna be hoping for because it gives them an extra lap to build up momentum.
Yeah, these guys need as much time as they can get right now because Jeff Ward has, quiet all night, but makes a power play on potentially the last pit stop cycle of the night.
Yep, and quick update on the point situation before we go back green for what could be one of the final restarts of this race. Not really anything up front. These guys still good in the points. Really, the eyes are on Colin Fambrough running in 8th. trying to take away a transfer spot from Timothy Johnston, who crashed out really early on in this race. Who's going to finish tonight in 26. Fambrough, if he finishes 8th, where he's running right now, he will transfer on. If he finishes 9th, he's going to be out of it. So he's fighting for his chance to stay in the playoffs here. It's going to be big. He's also got to hope, too, that he doesn't get involved in a wreck, because that could easily happen in this final restart.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a wild restart here. So I hope he's going to be. I hope he's, for his sake, going to be okay.
A lot to lose for him and a lot to gain as well. A lot to see here, but definitely our eyes are going to be up in the front for this restart. Jeff, we're taking the outside lane. Oh, you know why? Because Debaro is starting down there. I think that's the only reason he took it. Smart move, honestly.
Yeah.
So he's going to
take...
so he's going to take away that lane from Debaro, give it to Hall, and I think because Hall has been a little bit more conservative.
And those guys have raced around each other a lot tonight, and Hall just wasn't able to get around him. So, really intelligent move there by Jeff Ward.
Yeah, and I think also, again, from being the receiving end of this, I think he also knows that the 27 is willing to be a little physical when it comes down to it. So, I think he's trying to avoid that. And we'll see what Debaro can do in that 27. We say he's aggressive, and he definitely is, but he definitely gets results. So we'll see if he's able to pull a move here with 3 laps to go.
Look who's running back there in the 6th spot.
Yeah, Thomas Bressi. He's returned. It's spicy here.
He awakens.
He does indeed awaken. Here we go, back to the restart. Ward wasting no time back on the gas. Green flag back in the air here at Charlotte for 3 laps.
Oh, Anthony Debaro in the grass trying to make a move down there on the front straightaway.
Couldn't get it done. He's still tucked in behind Alec Martinez. Hall drops back into 4th. Now what does Debaro do? Let's see, Ward actually going in the middle, playing defensive. Where is everyone going to go 3 wide potentially? Oh boy.
What a move.
Yeah, what a move
that
indeed.
Was close.
Debaro trying to get to the inside, can't keep the car down there. It's going to be Martinez rocketing around the outside. 2 laps to go, but Hayden Pastorius on the wall. He saves it. And we remain green for now. The way these guys are racing the front, I don't think it's going to be much longer.
Whoa.
Martinez trying to get a lane to the inside. Ward pushing him up top. Debaro on the inside during the 54.
My jaw has dropped to the floor here.
Yeah, indeed. Can they make it back to the white flag here? 2 turns left to go. Martinez trying to build up around the outside. He's kind of boxed in from the 27 and the 89. Debaro's got a lane to the inside. Here we go. White flag in the air.
Let's see if Alec Martinez goes to the outside once again. No, it looks like he's going to stuck. Maybe he's going to try that middle 3 wide.
He could try middle 3 wide. He might try to follow Debaro on through. Ward sideways off the corner, almost dooring with the 27 as there's a bit of contact in the background. Still watching the battle for the lead. Martinez going to make a dive 3 wide for a moment.
Wow.
It's not going to be enough. Does Ward have anything? He's going to make contact with the 27. Ward goes into the wall. It's going to be Debaro who will take the checkered flag. Martinez tries to pass him through the grass.
Wow. What a finish.
What a finish indeed. And Colin Fambrough finishes in 6th. He will move on to the next round.
Wow.
Man, what a finish there. How about that?
Well, wouldn't be a fuel race here as of recent without some controversy at the finish. So
actually, I think this is one of the least amount of controversy we've had over the last few weeks. We've had a lot of controversy. I'll say that. So that's really saying something. Ward, I think, honestly, just got into the wall. Was getting loose into the 27. There wasn't really any malicious contact there. But Anthony Debaro. How about this winner again? The man to beat, in my opinion, for this season.
Oh, absolutely, hands down.
5th win of the season in 11 starts. 12 starts. Whew. All right. So we're going to take a little bit of a breather, trying to recover from that finish, and we'll catch up with your top 3 and some other drivers here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back here live at Charlotte after an entertaining finish, to I think say the least. Here after an amazing race, we saw it was really slick on the track. But here we're talking with Thomas Bressi in the 24. Thomas, you had a pretty good car early on in the first half of the race, and then you kind of fell off a little bit. Just kind of walk us through what happened there.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not really sure what happened. I wish I knew. That restart after I kind of got booted out of the lead, it just the rear ends, like the tires were just terrible. It was stupid loose for some reason. I don't know why it was so loose on stickers like the first lap, and then I brushed the wall at some point I think during that run, and then I mean the car was like really off the pace at that point, so and just couldn't get it back, but. Kind of frustrating. Yeah, I mean, as you said, we had a good car at the beginning. Really thought maybe tonight would have been the night to end the dry spell, but maybe we'll. I guess I'll have to save that and see if next week goes any better.
Yeah, especially I was going to ask you about that too. It's been so long for you to get a win. You've definitely had the pace. There's been no argument about that. Are there any tracks upcoming before the end of the season that kind of stand out in your mind as a chance to get a win?
Well, next week, I was pretty bummed about last week. Really thought I should have won last. I at least would have had a shot, and then I got shoved through my pit box on the last caution, and then lost all my track position. But if I'd been able to restart up there, I probably would have had a chance. But that's done with. Was actually sort of surprised with tonight, so that went. Could have been a chance, but oh well. Next week for sure, and then we'll see what the last 2 weeks come up with. But gonna be pretty pissed at myself if I don't get one before we're done here. It's honestly pretty frustrating at this point. Because I do think it's a lack of pace. It's like, I mean, I run fifth or something like every week, and it's just I don't have the last little bit that I need, and I don't know what else I got to do. I thought maybe tonight would have been different because it was like the old car where the driver mattered because it was this. There's this cool thing. It's called loose, and that happened tonight with the cars. So I thought, maybe would have had a shot, but oh well. So we'll go into next week, see if we can get something out of it. Still a decent points night for tonight, but we'll just try and make the most of it next week and go kick some ass then.
All right. Well, that was your fifth place finisher, Thomas Bressi. Thanks for talking, Thomas. Thanks for talking with us, Thomas, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you guys.
All right, moving next to our fourth place finisher, Casey Lacotis. And Casey, first and foremost, how on earth did you manage to bring that car with that amount of damage to your nose to a fourth place finish?
So like off one of the first wrecks, Sam Crow, zero car, slams on the brakes, gets it all sorts of loose, squeehod, and I slammed on him too, but apparently just bumped his bumper. Oh, it gave me a 4X, but 12 and a half seconds of damage. I thought it was going to be more. I thought there was going to be engine damage. Thought we were going to be out of it, but man, 50 car was ready to show up tonight. Too bad we did not make the chase. But yeah, we did a practice race to get qualified here early on in the season. And Alec and I went 1-2, so I was hopeful to bring this 50 car out of the rut that it's been in for the last 5 or 6 races. And I think we did that here tonight.
Yeah, and you did a phenomenal job. We were both me and Zach were both surprised you were able to bring that thing. We thought the way it looks like you were being put a lap down, but you're up inside the top 5 or top 6 for a good amount of the later part of that race. So solid job there. Any tracks that you think you could perform, potentially even get a win if you're lucky over the next few weeks?
Looking at what's coming up, we got Watkins next week. I am not a road course driver, so that's a definite no unless everybody wrecks out. That would be a good chance in hell. Otherwise, Phoenix, probably not. I think Las Vegas would probably be the only track there. Really, at this point, we're just here to have some fun and see what we can do because, like I said, we're not really running for points, so just trying to hopefully turn our luck around because both this and another league we're not doing too well right now. Been wrecked out of the last, like I said, 5 or 6 races. So.
All right. Well, that was Casey Laconis, your fourth place finisher. Thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
All right, moving on next, we're going to talk with Jeff Ward. And Jeff, you had a really interesting last few laps there. You looked like you could have won it. Just kind of walk us through the final few turns.
Yeah, I mean, we had the race 1 coming out of 4 there. If Anthony could have held his line. He just drove straight up and put me in the fence on purpose. Seemed like, I don't know. Like I said, after USA, he's going to use that against me any way he can whenever really I didn't even touch him in that race. So he blew his load a little too early, and I know what race I'm going to save it for when I get him back.
Would you like to release that information to the crowd, to the audience, or are you going to make it a surprise?
I'll keep it to myself. That way he don't know what's coming. So yeah, he really messed up tonight. That's all I'm going to say.
So going into the rest of the fuel finals, how much different are you going to race the 27? Are you going to keep? Are you going to try to make life hard for him, or are you going to focus on your own points battle?
No, I've always raced Anthony clean. Tried to. It's this past 3 or 4 races, it's really gotten a little messy. But I'll race him clean and just kind of wait for the right moment, I guess. And like I said, I got a good time picked out for.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to us, Jeff. Unfortunately, didn't get the win. Still a solid finish, but we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, moving on next, we'll talk to Colin Fambrough. And how about this, Colin? I mean, you made it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you made it to the next round of the finals with that 6th place finish. Just kind of, you've been getting by the skin of your teeth, for lack of a better word, over the last few weeks. Just kind of, how have you been really playing the points game to get into the next rounds?
I mean, I don't think I'm necessarily playing the points game. I'm just trying to get the best finishes I can get. I mean, things are just obviously I needed some help this race, and I got it with that unfortunate situation with Tim. But I'm just out here trying to get the best finishes I can and run these guys clean. And I mean, this race was tough, man. The cars were really loose, and you really had to drive it with the throttle. And but it was fun. Was able to just do enough to sneak in.
Yeah, so considering how well you've done over the last few rounds, do you consider yourself as a shot for championship here, or are you just trying to hang on for as long as you can?
No, I think a few of these guys have a good bit more speed than I do right now. I'm just hanging on and trying to make it as far as I can go and having a good time. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it hell, but it is what it is. I think there's a couple of these guys that have a little bit better feel for this than I do. My first year back, running iRacing, so I think it's been pretty good.
All right, thanks for talking to us, Colin. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, moving on to our 3rd place finisher, Robert Hall. And Robert, for most of the race, I got to say you've been playing that pretty patiently. Don't know if that was your intent or if you're actually trying to do it, but it looks like you were just kind of hanging back. So, kind of, what was your strategy approaching this race?
Nah, that's pretty much how I race every race. I'm pretty patient, but yeah, I didn't want to get overly aggressive. There's guys running for a championship, and I was trying to save tires a little bit too, especially those last those runs on the the last 70 laps or so. But it was fun.
Definitely was fun to watch. I'm curious also, I want to take the time to ask, what are your plans going into, also for the rest of this season, also for the rest, for next season?
I'll probably run a race or two to finish this season out, and then whatever Will sets up, I guess I'll run the Cup Series next year, and I'll see what else he's got.
All right, well, definitely looking forward to seeing you back here, especially with a win to your name already in very few starts, but we hope to see you back for next season. So thank you for talking to us, and we'll see you next week, or whatever other race you start.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, almost to the end of the drivers we're interviewing here. We've got a long list of them, but got Alec Martinez for 2nd place. Alec, that was a hell of a move you threw out at turn 4, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, the grass. Gotta love that turf.
Yeah, well, honestly, it actually almost worked there. I didn't think you would have been remotely close, but you were a lot closer than I thought. Just kind of walk us through that last restart. You were kind of playing second fiddle to Debaro and Ward. What was your strategy to get around them?
I mean, I don't know. If we would have got to caution, I think I probably had the race won. But I don't know. It's what it is now. But what I try to do, I think on the last lap in 3, I was trying to hope to send it 3 wide, and just maybe make Debaro slip up going into 3, and he might have just lost momentum, gotten in the ward, and I could have just went by because that's the only way to make a move in this package. So, um, I don't know. Probably the best setup and best weather I've ever had at Charlotte, and I love when the driver, plays a role in it. And I'm not saying I'm good. I'm just saying that it's good actually that these cars are going to take talent. But I think Debaro and Ward were probably the fastest cars here. I think it just mattered if you conserved your tires more. And once I got by Debaro, it's just clean air because that's what this package is. So I don't know. I wish I could have got it there, but it is what it is. We'll go on to Watkins Glen and ask Kyle because Kyle's the freaking goat on these tracks. So I don't know. Just see what happens going on to the rest of the chase. But also on if he's watching Timothy Johnston, I feel really bad for dumping him. I didn't know. I just lost talent and just forgot where I was and got into him. And then if I ruined his chase stuff, I'm really sorry. I wasn't trying to do that at all. But if he turns me in return, it is what it is. So we'll just go on and try to go get the championship.
All right, that's your second place finisher, Alec Martinez. Great run, Alec, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
All right, and last but finally, not least, we got Anthony Debaro for the 5th time this season. Anthony, you've won a race. You've been on an absolute roll, and I think honestly, with this win, I think you kind of established yourself as the man to beat. So what's your plan? You got a pretty solid points lead going up into the final round. I don't think you're under any threat of being eliminated. What's your plan over the next 2 weeks at ISM and Watkins Glen?
Oh, just keep being consistent. But I want to shout out to Alec. That was his race there. He went up and muscled that lead away from me, and unfortunately that caution came out there at the end. He's going to get one before the end of the season. I know that he's definitely too quick each week, but sometimes that's the way it goes. Luck falls on your side, and we got a good restart there, and we were able to get the checker flag.
Yeah, and also, I also wanted to ask too. Do you think if the race, we obviously didn't see a whole lot of green flag runs. Do you think if the race went greener for longer, do you think you would have had much of a shot in comparison to Jeff Ward and Alec Martinez?
I don't know if I overdid the tires there. I think as a leader, because I think I had a little more downforce, so I was going through the corners faster than them. If that makes any sense. And I think I just wore my stuff out, and that's why the two of them were able to get by me there with I think 10 to go. But I was just going to concede to third and just take the points. But we got the caution. I thought restarting there on third, and he took the top. I thought we were done. And luckily, I don't know how it got the bottom to work, but the seas parted ways, and we ended up with the checker flag.
All right, well, there's your race winner, Anthony Debaro. I definitely don't think it's going to be the last time we're talking to you in the winner's circle, so best of luck for the next 3 races.
Thank you, guys. Good job up there.
All right, that was a long amount of interviews, more than I thought I would have wanted to do, but I think there was quite a few drivers to talk to after a very interesting race at Charlotte, and it is confirmed that Timothy Johnston, unfortunately, through some run luck, is going to be eliminated for the rest of the fuel finals. But there's a look at the rest of your finishing order there. Again, Casey Licata's 4th. Bressi was able to rebound to 5th after what happened to him. That was amazing. And Robert Hall, again, quietly coming in 3rd. Any other notable names that stand out to you?
The biggest one to me out of all of this, even though he wasn't here, is Nick Kohan. He's lost a lot of spots in the playoffs. Right now, he's outside of that Final Four. So he's got to do some work, and it's going to be hard. Because on average, he's maybe 2 or 3 positions better than the guys he's got to beat. So I think this has dug a little bit of a hole for him.
Yeah, and going on with that too is the fact that again, the top 4 is that goal, and the points don't reset at all. So he's gonna have to make up positions.
A race.
He's gonna have to make up points next week and the week after, and he's sitting at about 33 points. 33 points behind Thomas Bressi, who currently holds on to that 4th spot. So he's gonna have a lot of work to do missing this one race. So we'll see if he's able to do it.
Yeah, the other thing with that is if Debaro was already a race ahead, has he win tonight? I mean, how can that guy not be the favorite at this point? unless something major happens, which, as we've heard tonight, it might. I think it's his to lose. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, indeed. All right, I think on that note, that's going to wrap up our coverage here of the Fuel Cup Series at Shaw. A very entertaining race, also a very, very hot race. I think that some of these drivers can attest. So looking at our schedule for the next few weeks, we go to Watkins Glen, ISM, and then rounding the season at Vegas. So that's the next 3 races for this series, but we're going to sign off for tonight. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.